99% Biker TV. We are just doing a Drink with Shots episode, so we're just going to be hanging out with a couple of my buddies, chatting about a few things. So let's get into it. Right. That is a beautiful thing to watch when we're here in Utah covered in the snow. I'm going to bring on a couple of my buddies. I got Judas and Spoons here with me. What's going on, gents? How are you?
What's up?
Thank you.
Let's talk about the snow, man. How much snow you guys got out at your place?
A shitload.
Yeah.
30 inches.
Yeah, a lot. We I don't remember the last time that I woke up to a storm like that. I mean,
Yeah, especially just in one pass overnight. It was
yeah,
pretty
one
good.
pass. I mean, there was no snow on the ground at all at like what 7 o'clock last night, and then all of a sudden this morning, like just 3 feet of snow almost.
Yeah.
So stupid. So, and I'm too lame. Like I actually don't own a snow blower because we only get so many like bad storms like that each year. And so we finally hit one. Then I think I need to go buy one. But then I think I'm going to go buy the damn thing. And we're not going to have more snow like this. Right. So I still don't own one. So I shoveled like 3 feet of snow this morning. It sucked balls.
I feel you
Spoons?
there.
Yeah. I bought one probably 3 years ago and never used it until today.
See? Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was there, right?
2 hours to clean the driveway at that.
Yeah.
I've thought about getting one, but same thing, it's like how often would I actually use it? And then, but today I was just wishing I had an extra shovel. That's all I was.
I actually think that the way to ensure that we would not get more snow like this is if I just go and buy one, and then we wouldn't get any more snow, and then we could ride.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe that's worth it.
Put a plow on the front of your bike, You
Yeah.
gotta do what you gotta do. Put some tracks and a plow on your bike.
Right.
Yeah, so we're just at least I'm sitting here having a drink because maybe I'm an alcoholic because I day drink, but that's all right. So I'm gonna have a couple drinks. If you're sitting here watching, you got questions for some of us or comments, go ahead and post that in the comments. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I'm gonna have both of these gents introduce themselves, and then we'll just start having a conversation about some cool biker stuff and what's on our mind. Maybe learning a little bit about things. So you want to go first, Judas?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm Judas. I have I've actually been friends with Shots for a long time, but before I even knew Shots was in a club. But this is actually going to go along with sort of what we're going to talk about. At least part of it is I love to ride and everything like that, but it's kind of hard to find friends to ride with because we all have friends that own bikes and they say they're going to go and then the day comes and they flake and everything like that. So I started looking for people to ride with, found out Shots was in a club, and started to ride with the club, did this and that. And then the next thing you know, I'm in the club and it's a blast, right? So, but I've been riding for a bit. I've only had a road bike for a few years, but since I was a kid, I rode dirt bikes and stuff like that, lots of BMX and now mountain bikes and all that too. But a few years ago, I bought a road bike and that got in my blood instantly, addicted. And it's to the point now where it's pretty much all I ever think about. I have a hard time thinking about the shit that I'm actually supposed to be thinking about most of the time. So especially now, I look outside and you just covered in snow and white and stuff. Winter here sucks sometimes, and I'm getting antsy to ride. So it's like you said, that intro of all of us for riding and everything like that, it's like, man, I can't wait till it's warm. I can't wait till it's sunny. and get out there and enjoy it again, you know. But
So
we've
what do you
actually,
ride, Judas? For those that don't know.
me and Spoons rode a few days this last week, you know, before the snow hit and everything like that. So we still get days here and there. Just got to dress warm, right?
What bike are you on, and what style bike do you like to ride?
So I the bike that I first got when I first started to ride was a Honda Shadow 750 bobbed out custom bike, hardtail, and I still own it, love it. I actually have ridden that up until just recently. I found myself a VTX 1300, also bobbed out. I just like that style. I like the bobbers. I like the choppers. And I also like to be able to give you guys a bad time with your old man bikes, right? So riding down the road on your comfortable recliners, right? So then you guys all bust my ass about my young man hardtail, right? So
I like my couch.
Mine's not a hardtail, but you know, I have a Harley Fat Bob too. I just don't ride as much because I've been lending it out to a brother.
I know it's sort of been held hostage, huh?
Yeah.
Last few
Hopefully I'll
months.
get that back
But
soon.
no, one of these days I'm gonna get myself a big bag or two, right? But right now, yeah, I'm into the bobbers. So
when you start traveling with the wife and she brings everything with her under the sun that she can think of, you know,
yeah, traveling with the wife's a thing. She won't ride unless it's like 85 degrees and up. So there's a very like small part of the year that I need to be concerned about that. But
yeah,
that's the thing. But she has a bike actually. So when I got mine, she decided she wanted one. We've got these friends that ride, and my friend's wife rides, and she's awesome. And she convinced me that she should get one. First, I was like, hell no, you're not going to buy a bike. And she's like, why not? And I'm like, because I've ridden bicycles with you before. You scare me on that, right? You know? So yeah. I insisted that she take a class. I bought her a half bobbed out, like a half done project bike, built that for her. And she actually is getting good at it. You know, she only rides for a very short time of the year because she will not go out in the cold. And what you and I think is warm, she still thinks is cold. So, yeah, she rides for like 2 months.
But you've been on that bike too, so it's been beneficial for you to have an extra bike sometimes.
It has been. So that's actually been, I call it her bike, but it's actually been my backup bike, right?
Yeah.
So now that I got my new one, we're gonna sell hers, and she's gonna ride my old bike. I am gonna throw some shocks on it, so it's not quite so rough on her. But yeah,
nice.
That's that. So
all right, Spoons, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you been riding? What do you ride? What got you into riding? What got you into club stuff?
Yeah, so I'm Spoons. It started back when I was 15. I was turning wrenches during the summer months with my uncle that owned his own automotive shop. And one day he come rolling up on a brand new Harley and got to ride on the back with him a few times. And about a year after that, I was probably 17 or so, was when I got my first Sportster. And I've been on a bike ever since. There probably a 2-year stretch where I didn't have a bike, but for the most part, I've always been on bikes. And I've had up to 3 bikes at one point. Right now, I currently ride a 21 Street Glide and a 07 Deuce. And then going off of what Judas said, you know, I got some friends that have bikes and a brother. Just trying to get out and go ride sometimes just seemed almost impossible. And so I started playing around on Facebook and found a few group rides throughout the week. And then that's when I found you guys. And boy, it's been a ride ever since. It's been a blast. Been loving it.
Your life's changed a bit since then, huh, Spoons?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so before we get into that, I bought a 21 Road Glide this year, and I was looking for a while, and, you know, I had a certain color I was looking for. I ended up not finding the color that I was looking for, but I got the snake venom color, and I was like, man, look at me. I'm so badass. I have a unique bike. And I show up, and there's spoons on the Street Glide version of the same bike. So
Color
I guess
bike.
I'm not so unique, but we can bond over our snake venom Harley Davidsons. So.
Yeah, they're both sick.
But
I thought the same thing when I got mine. It's like, I'm gonna be the only one in the state with one, and then boom, here you show up.
Yeah, you're welcome. But it worked out because we did some luggage rack exchanges and everything else. So it's not a bad thing. But no, I agree. So I found it similar to like what Judas says is, I have, a lot of friends, and I find out they have bikes, and I'm like, oh, that's rad. Like, let's go out and ride, And I found, similar to what Judas was saying and Spoons were saying, that, a lot of people have bikes, but getting them actually on their bike is a very difficult thing, right? So I always tell people, when as soon as it's warm weather, I'm going to be riding, and I pretty much just hang out with people that I know that ride. So unless you're riding, we're not going to hang out very much. But that's kind of how it is. I almost like, I hang out with all my motorcycle buddies still in the winter, but I do have a little bit more time to hang out with other friends that don't ride in the winter. But as soon as, spring hits and it starts warming up, I'm pretty much consumed with, the motorcycle club and my buddies that ride, and the riding club, and going out and riding on our public weekly rides that we help host. And so there is a difference, right, between owning a bike and, in my opinion, what we call being an actual biker, right?
Right.
And so what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I always got from my friends, and I'm like, hey, let's go out and ride. And I always hear, from them, yeah, like I'm excited. Let's go ride. But then I never, can get them out.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you look on, like, I don't know, here in Utah, we have KSL classifieds or Craigslist, right? But you can find low mile, 10, 15-year-old bikes all day long, right? The bike that my first bike I bought was an 05. It only had like maybe 14K on it. I put more on that bike in the last couple of years than it ever did from 05 till the time I bought the bike, which was just a few years ago, right? My wife's bike that she bought, that I bought for her, it's an 07. I think it has like 11 on it, right? It just sat for years. And you can find bikes like that. You can find deals like that all day long, because these people, they buy the bikes and they just sit in the garage, and they might ride them to the restaurant. They might go down to the bar. They might like ride with their friends like a couple times a month tops. It's just a hard thing for me to get, right? I just don't understand it, because, dude, if it's nice outside, or even if it's not that nice, but like dry, and I won't freeze to death, I don't want to drive my car. I just don't understand it. But that's a difference, right? Is like it gets in some of our blood, I think, and other guys, I just don't think they care, right? But something I don't understand.
For those guys that own a bike and aren't out riding, why do you think that is?
I think some of them are scared of them. I've actually talked to some people that they sold their bikes because they're scared of them, right? I talk to people a lot, actually, that they're, oh yeah, well, I've ridden to work a few times. I get, and there's all these cars, and I've been cut off and almost killed, and this and that. And I'm just like, we always see all those stickers on cars and stuff like that say like, start seeing bikers and stuff like that, right? If you ride, you can't depend on these assholes to like keep you safe, right? You have to assume that they're all trained assassins, and they're all trying to kill you, right? Yeah. It's up to you to stay safe, right? And so I don't know if some people, like, they have that fear. Maybe they don't know how to have their head on a swivel, right? But I think a big part of it comes to be fear, and then another part is maybe they're just not interested. I don't know.
Maybe it's like a trophy for them to have in the garage.
Yeah, it's cool. They say, I've got this bike. They spend all this money on it. I don't know. What do you think?
I totally agree about all that. It's just a trophy in the garage. they say they've got one.
A trophy in the garage, or I think it kind of goes hand in hand with a little bit with what Judas is saying too. Is like it's a trophy in the garage, and yeah, maybe they do get out on it every once in a while and throw their wife or their girlfriend on the back, and go right over to the closest sports bar or something, right? And they think that's cool showing up at a sports bar on a motorcycle. But they don't ride it enough to become comfortable. So every time they get on it, it's terrifying for them.
Scary, right? Yeah.
They haven't educated themselves enough. They haven't taken maybe a riding course. They haven't been out riding with people who know what they're doing. They haven't been learning from people. They don't know where their proper lane positioning is to keep them safe while they're riding, right? And so I think part of that is just like lack of education, lack of experience, and really, they haven't really gained that love for it yet, right? Because if you truly gain that love for it, it's like you almost can't live without it, right? It's like, man, this winter's been rough because it's been snowing so much in Utah. And I've been feeling it. You know what I mean? Like, I've been feeling not riding, So it's rough.
Wow. Well, this last weekend before the storm hit, we sort of got the warm before the storm, right? And by warm, I mean 38 degrees and up. Right? Like warm enough that we won't like freeze to death, right? And I rode 3 days straight. I rode with Spoons one day, I rode with you one day, but yeah, I just can't get you enough of it. But yeah, winter sucks, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I have friends though, and this is what sort of brought this up. Is I posted this funny meme that I found this morning. It showed like 4 boxes, and it said like when you plan the ride. In fact, I'll just show you guys it. But this was my experience, and it still is like my experience. But it's not my experience in a club though, right? And this is why I joined the club, or at least part of why I joined the club. And then our Facebook groups, like the one that Spoons found, this is why you join these Facebook groups, because this is usually your experience, right? Oh, no, it's not going to show it. Okay, you can kind of see it right there, the stupid app. Anyways, it shows like when you plan the ride, and it's got all these people, they're down, right? They're like, yeah, I can't wait. And then a month before the ride, there's like half those people that are still down. A week before, you got like maybe 5 people left. And then the day of the ride, you're standing there by yourself thinking, where the hell are all of my friends at, right? And then then it's still fun. You go on the ride by yourself and you're still on the bike, right? But that's why I think that people gravitate towards these riding groups, or organizations, associations, MCs, RCs, all those things, right? Because of their friends that they currently have, most of them that own bikes will not ride with them, or they say they will, then they flake the day of, right? Yeah, see, that's us out there in the butt ass cold, but we were enjoying it.
Yeah, see all those mountains of snow behind us.
I was jealous.
I was trying to get my bike up and going, and instead I ended up taking pictures of these guys until I was able to get it up and going. But here's another picture of these guys out riding, and look at those snowy mountains, man. It's a
dude, Strike's face must have been so cold.
I know. He's just doing it so he can smoke his cigarette like a but look at all these snowy pics, man.
Yep.
So it's good times.
Yeah. But I actually get asked a lot like why I joined a club, right? And that's a big part of it, because it's just hard to find like-minded people, right? But in the club, shit, dude, all you have to do is shoot out a text in our group chat, hey, who wants to ride? And you got a few guys at least that are like, yeah, let's go, right? So
yeah, because they're bikers.
Yeah. So you're never in lack of friends to ride with, right? So
yeah, but even bikers, there's people that have their heart in it. That's truly what they'd want to be doing. But there's also that whole life thing too, right? Is like you got kids, you got work, you got everything else, and so
Oh yeah, absolutely.
it's about prioritizing your hobbies, right? Is like, yes, you have things in your life you need to do. They're your responsibilities. But if you don't prioritize hobbies and things that makes you happy, then you're going to be an unhappy individual. And
You're
so
going to be an unhappy person, and that's also going to reflect in other aspects of your life too, right? So like my wife and I, we have a relationship podcast, and I say this all the time. Like, you have to have interest to be interesting, right? Believe it or not, your wife wants you to get the fuck out of the house sometimes, right? So the guy friends I had were like, oh, I can't go because I think she'll be mad. It's like, dude, she wants you to go sometimes. Get the fuck out. Let's go ride. Let's go have fun, right? Spoons told me when he got involved in the club, and I'll just ask him, like, Spoons, how did that affect or change things for you at home?
Oh, it helped a lot. I mean, she always kicking me out of the house to go ride, because I get
I would too if I were her, but
you just get antsy, you get irritated, and she'll just tell you, you need to go for a ride. You need to go get your therapy.
dude, it was just yesterday, that my wife and I were arguing about something, and she's like, leave me alone. Fine. But yeah, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? But really, like, just putting aside the whole absence thing, is like, you need to do things in your life that makes you happy. If you're a happy individual, you're going to be a better, a husband, or, a better boyfriend, or a better father, better friend, better, worker.
Yeah.
If you're excited about life, then you're going to, handle life better. If you never get to enjoy any aspect of life, that's when you're just like, dude, I just want to shoot myself in the face. Right.
Well,
so
when you have something that you do that you absolutely love, right? You come home a different person than when you left, right? It's like this. Have you guys seen Point Break, like the old school one with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Okay. So you remember when he first went surfing? Remember how he paid that chick to teach him to surf and everything like that? And he caught his first wave, and he's sitting there, and he just had this like look of like serious contentment. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "You see that look right there?" Like, she points it out. Like, that was the first time that his serious like undercover cop look went to like, I'm just enjoying the shit out of where I am right now, right this second. And I first understood that myself on dirt bikes and mountain bikes. I mean, I remember coming down off the hill, dude. I mean, I love riding road bikes too, but like, man, like mountain bikes, there's something about just bombing down a hill, doing almost 50, freaking trees around you, and you're doing this shit, right?
You feel like the wheels are gonna fall off.
Yeah, and you get done, you're like, I could have died like 1,000 times up there, but I didn't, right? And you just have that, you're just content, right? Well, I have that same thing when I get home from a ride too, right? It just puts you in the right place. You come home a new man, right? I do, at least. And from what Spoon says, sounds like Spoons does,
Yeah. I mean, they call it wind therapy for a reason, right? But going back to like the types of people, is like the guys that have bikes, my question is it only a certain type of personality or person that gets that benefit off the wind therapy, right?
Probably.
Because how have the other people that have owned bikes, not experienced it? Is that just because they are still at the uncomfortable stage of it and not to the enjoyable stage of it, and they haven't pushed through that barrier yet? Or maybe their anxiety makes it so it doesn't become therapy for them anymore. I don't know. It's
it could be all of the
question
above.
I have in my mind is, why?
Could be all of that. It could be one, it just might not be their thing, Maybe they thought it was their thing, so they went and they bought the bike. And I know people like this, and they're just like, yeah, it's all right. But then they sell the bike in a year, and they never get another one, right? Then some are too fearful to learn to enjoy it, which is also, you know what? I actually agree with that. So if it scares you to death, you shouldn't be on it if you can't surpass that, right? It's like in a car too. Like we've all seen these people in their car and they're like, they look scared to be in the car. Dude, that scares me that you're in a car driving it next to me and you're scared, right? You know, like if it scares you that bad, you shouldn't be on it either, right?
Well, I think that's just people for you, man. Like there's some people that are literally afraid of everything. Like
right.
who during COVID looked over in the middle of traffic and saw somebody wearing a mask in the car by themselves? Like
Two
you're
masks
literally
and
afraid
gloves.
of giving yourself COVID. You're by yourself in the car, you know, like you're completely isolated from society and you're wearing a mask to protect yourself from yourself. Like
Yeah.
you're already breathing in your own goddamn air. Like, are you
Right.
serious? You know? So,
Yeah.
but I think that literally that is the case, right? There's some people that just like have such bad anxiety and such bad fear that they can't get themselves to enjoy things that have a certain level of risk associated with them, right?
And that's probably not just bikes for them. I'm sure that extends into like all levels of their life though too, right? So that's a personality thing for them.
Yeah, for sure. I think like sometimes with my friends that have bikes, like I think part of it is they've just never done cool shit on it. You know, like they're only like going to like Chili's, you know, or like their closest like restaurant or bar, you know.
Yeah.
Like they haven't experienced the things that I've experienced on my bike, which has changed the way that I look at my life. Right.
Yeah.
They haven't experienced riding through Yosemite, you know, enjoying and breathing in that fresh air while you're seeing the most breathtaking views on your bike. You know, they haven't experienced going to Sturgis or going through, you know, Yellowstone or, you know, Four Corners and there's a lot of places I haven't been, right? But I live, you know, my life so that I can plan to do trips like that again.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy it that much. Like I love it. And there's nothing better than experiencing that on the bike, but then also experiencing that with your brothers that you're tight with. And you could just like reach over on your bike and give them a fist bump and be like, yo, dude, this is sick. You know?
Right. Yeah. That last club trip we took, man, I made a couple really cool reels on it from all of our pictures and stuff. They have a bunch of views, and probably a third of those views are me, right? Because I like freaking watching over and over again. Because I'm like, I can't wait to go again, right? You know?
Are you talking about the one to the hot springs?
Yeah, man, that was dope.
Escalante trip.
Yeah,
That was a
I'm
blast.
super bummed that I missed the first day of it, but I caught me and Shots both missed that for her first day, but we rode down and met you guys for day 2, and it was a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, I hate how this doesn't show, but this is a little clip of us riding through on the dirt on the way to go to the hot springs. You got guys hopping over the falls. It's a good time.
Yeah, it was a blast.
But yeah, man, I absolutely love it. You know, it's you get nothing like stuff like this where you're able to, you know, have these scenic viewpoints, everyone riding down the road, you know. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Camping, chilling. It's good times.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's like I mean, it's ultimately lots of fun, but it's also like a lot of real life lessons though too, right? You know, when you're riding so close and so tight with your brothers like we do, you eventually get to the point where, man, you're super close and you're super tight, and you just have to trust this guy up here that he's not going to mess up, and this guy that he's not going to mess up. Your life is literally in their hands, because if they fuck up or something falls off their bike or something like that, right? You know, but you get to the point where you just trust them, and you know them so well that you know what they're going to do. You know when they're going to change lanes before they do it, right? You know, and it's just cool. Like, so me and Spoons are in the same chapter, right? And we have a new guy riding with us, and I had a talk with him the other day as I hang around, and he's like, he's like, I'm just not used to riding so tight and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, if you want to ride with us, you're going to have to learn. But the thing is, it's like, it's just going to take time and experience, right? You have to learn to trust us just as we have to learn to trust you also, but we ride together so much that eventually, not only do we know what we're thinking half the time on our bikes, but we also know what we're thinking most of the time off of our bikes, though, too, right? You just get tight. There's a quote I love. It's something like this. I don't know the exact quote, but it says something like this, like riding a motorcycle is the most solitary thing you can do. Yet it has the irony that it brings people together like nothing else. Right? It's something you do by yourself, but it unifies people in a way like nothing else can. It's a very interesting thing. Make sense?
Yeah, but why do you think that is?
I think it's one, you have a common interest that it's not just an interest, but it's like a real passion, right? It's something that we all love. It's like, we think about it all day long, every day, right? And when you ride together like we do all the time, again, you have to build the brotherhood, but that sort of builds on its own. You don't have to try for that, but you do have to build like the trust. You have to build the understanding. Like I said, you kind of get to the point where you're so close where you can read people's minds, what they're about to do before they even do it. I just think the whole thing just somehow it just unites people, at least people that ride together a lot, right? Maybe if you have a friend that you ride with every 6 months, that's not the case. But I know like Spoons and I and the guys in our chapter out here, we hang out a lot, we ride a lot. When we can't hang out and we can't ride, we're texting nonstop, I don't know, man. I mean, I've been blessed to make a lot of really good friends in my life, but I think I've made more really close friends since I got in the club than I have probably the rest of my life before that. You just get close.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think it reminds me of a quote, that our passion for motorcycling brings us together, right? But our service, our respect, service, and trust unite and bond us, right? And so I think the passion, is really what first introduces all of us to each other. But as Judas was saying, like if you don't have the common respect for each other, if you can't trust that brother that's, in front of you, the side of you, and behind you, and if you don't, serve other people together and do things that are going to build your relationships, that's really the glue that what holds everybody together. You can have, I share a lot of passion with motorcycling with a lot of other people, but I don't share that respect and trust with everybody, right? And so that's really what I feel like in the clubs is really what holds everybody true together, right? Which is what creates those close relationships you're talking about. Hey, I think Scooby's on. Let me see if I can bring him on.
Sick.
What's up, Scoob?
What's going on?
There we
Chilling,
go, my man.
The working man.
How we doing? Yeah.
Look at that boss at work sitting in his chair.
So, hey, Shots, real quick, before we introduce Scooby, let's read Baz's last comment on there.
Boom. He said, getting in the club is the first time I've been around people that I truly miss if I don't see them for a while.
That's true. Yeah. Yep.
It's a little weird, right? I mean, I went to Cancun for Christmas this year with my family, and I was there about 6 days. And after I was like, man, I feel isolated. I feel like I need to like hang out with my brothers, get back to my other fam, So.
Right. Agreed. All right.
All right, Scoob, you want to introduce yourself for everybody who doesn't know you on this channel?
I guess I forgot I'm Scooby. out of the vice president over there, and so hop on and slow day at work and hop on and say hi to everybody.
We're having a hard time with Scooby's audio.
Yeah, your audio volume sounds a little low to me, but either use your big boy voice or increase your mic sensitivity a little bit.
See what I can do here.
Whoa, we don't need to see your porn on your desk, good sir. You're supposed to be working, remember?
Better?
Yeah, but we can't see you though.
Yeah, but I don't want to see your crotch.
That looks like his knee to me. If that's his crotch, good job, Scoob.
By the way, this is a commercial. If anybody can, go out and buy some Evan Williams today.
Nice.
Cheers.
Does that sound better?
There you go. Some Jack, huh?
Old school.
I like those Jack Harley parts that you can get, like the derby covers and the different stuff. I think those are rad.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
So what's up, Scoob? So we've been talking about the difference of kind of your friends that own bikes and people that actually ride. What's your experience with that?
I know quite a few of both sides. You know, I've got a couple people that own bikes, and I'm twice a season, and they're putting they're trading in their bikes and their dealership that are used with 200 miles, and you know, then there's those of us 3-4 times a week that we're putting 5,000 on my bike in the last year and a half.
Yeah, how many miles did you guys put on last year, you think?
Oh shit.
I mean, I hit my 10K by September.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
was
like 14K club miles. That's not including personal miles. So I know on my new bike I put on 7,000 miles, and I got that halfway through the season. So
yeah, probably between club miles and personal, I was probably around 10K last year.
Yeah.
Between everything, I did about 14,000 last year.
Baz is jumping in here like a beast.
20K.
If nobody knows Baz, man, this guy can ride.
That dude,
That
for
guy's
real.
Rides an Indian Scout.
Yeah.
Said he threw on 20K last year, 8K plus with the club. Hell yeah, Baz. Keep it up, man. Keep riding.
Yeah.
15 or almost 1,600 of those ratchet on our iron butt. So yeah.
Yeah, I've yet to do an iron butt. I'd like to do that sometime, but be a good time.
Well, we've been
awesome
talking, Spoons and I and the rest of our chapter out here. I think we're gonna do one this year, and I'm gonna do it on my hard tail just so I can talk shit to all you guys.
Nice.
I'll make sure to bring the Tylenol.
Nice.
I was about to say, yeah, who's bringing the GoPro to do the documentary on Judas's ass getting whooped on a hardtail.
But now that I said that shit out loud on the internet, I have to. So
can we
gonna keep you accountable.
Do a what?
Colonoscopy before and after.
Colonoscopy? Did you say?
Before and
Baz says we need to break into groups of 4 and do 1,500 in 24 hours. Dude, that reminds me of like what's that one movie called? The where they all go out and go across the country in their different vehicles.
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run?
Yeah. That's what we should do, man. We should just pick a destination and break into groups, or maybe even just do it by chapters or pairs and just say, hey, first one to get here, gets a prize, and just all go cruising.
Yep.
Everyone taking different routes, and it'd be pretty funny.
That'd be fun.
That'd be
I'm only getting every like third word from Scooby.
I'm hearing more than that, but
Yeah,
your
yeah.
audio is a little spotty, Scoobs, for sure.
All right, connection here, so I'll jump off.
That's
All right, brother. Well, I love you. If you can get some better service, it's weird because it says your service is fine. So
So
Are you on your phone, Scoob, or your
don't know.
computer?
and I'll see if I can get it on my computer.
okay.
Okay.
All right,
Give me a
I'm
minute,
gonna
I'll be
toggle
back.
you off, but if you get back on your computer, we'll try that out. Okay, brother.
All right.
Bye. All right.
Scooby's a stud.
I know. He's. Did you hear about how he broke his saddlebag and Wyatt's ankle broke his saddlebag and
Wyatt's
Wyatt
ankle
broke his
did? Yeah.
ankle?
I did hear that. Yeah, that's a bummer. Wyatt was on his new bike he just got, day one, I think.
I think this comment was meant for you, Judas. So I'll let you respond to it.
He needs a handful of lotion for the butt pain. So, funny thing is about Baz saying that though. So we were at a bar for my wife's birthday a few weeks ago, and I told somebody that we were discussing the iron butt, and I didn't even know Baz was listening. And I'm like, and I'm gonna do that shit on my hardtail because I was, pretty tuned up at that point in time. And all of a sudden, he just starts to laugh at me. That's awesome. I can't wait to see that shit. So, yeah,
Hey, I have nothing but respect for guys like you and Baz that are rocking on some long journeys with those bikes. So,
dude, Baz is hardcore, and let's not forget to mention that Baz has some years on us too, and that dude is one of the most hardcore riders we have.
I just like that guys that like that have the big white beards. That when they're riding, their beard splits.
Gray beards.
They're just cruising with their beard flowing on both sides. Like there's nothing cooler looking than that, All right, let's see if we get Scoob's ugly mug back on here. Scoob, is that working for you?
Is that working better?
Hells yes, it is. So far, at least.
Yeah.
Wait. So, you guys were talking crap about Baz. That man.
I think we were talking crap about you.
Never.
No, we wouldn't talk crap about Baz.
We were talking about how your
that
saddlebag
is
got
insane.
broken half by somebody's ankle.
Was that from the service project?
Dude, Baz is saying all the funny comments. I just wish he would get on, but he said he can't get on. He said, you say that about my beard because you don't have to comb it after. Yeah. Hey, but that's why I'm starting to braid this thing, man, because I've been going on rides and it's so long in the back that it gets tangled as fuck back there now, man.
I noticed that last night. It looks good.
Yeah. So
Oh.
I don't have very many goals in life, but my goal is just to have a big, long ponytail mohawk that goes down to my butt and be an old guy that just cruises around my motorcycle with a bunch of like cool rings that I've gotten like Indian reservations or different like national monuments and just be that old weird crusty dude that has cool stories. That's one of my only life goals. So
I'm working there with the mohawk. I mean,
Well, Shots, you're certainly weird and you're certainly crusty, so you just need to get old.
I just need to get old and I just need to keep growing that bitch out. So,
You're 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah, I'm 2/3 of the way there. That's pretty good, Not a lot of people can say they're 2/3 of the way there for their life goals. So
Right.
I'm like 2/3 of the way down on this after I drank a whole one already. So it's winning.
Winning.
damn right.
What's on your mind, Scoobs? What do you got about motorcycles?
Just ready for the damn summer to get here. Ready for that to get here and get out and start putting some miles down. I like you guys were talking about when I first got on. I miss seeing everybody. I miss hanging out and just I'm done with hockey now for the year, so now it's time for motorcycles and we start doing that again.
I think it's so much easier to like meet in good weather outside, like in people's backyards or at parks, or just even going out to up the canyon or something, than it is to try to fit like 50 of your good friends inside of someone's house. It's more complicated. So.
Well, we're gonna do that this weekend.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah,
44 degrees on Saturday, I saw.
We got a charity event going on out there,
Um,
and these guys are putting on a charity for the Humane Society in their area. So
yeah, the charity event will be fun. I'm more excited about my house afterwards. So should have most of the club here. Should be fun.
Yeah, just make
What's that?
Make
Spoons?
sure you put all the knives away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shot's wife stabbed a dude last time at my house. That's how she got her nickname, Stabs.
I can only take so much responsibility for her. So she's her own person, and
dude, the best part about that was I sort of like it skipped my mind because we had some other drama that it just sort of like took up space in my brain, and I completely forgot about it until Maverick called me like 2 or 3 days afterwards. And he's like, "So I have a question." He's like, "Something happened at your house and nobody's mentioning it." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's that?" He's like, "Shot's wife totally stabbed a guy at your house." And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's right, she did."
well,
he's like,
I feel like I'm her personal representative here, and to try to give her a good name. So this was a Halloween party, right?
Yeah.
And his buddy decided he wanted to be a girl for Halloween and have some big balloon titties, right?
So she's like,
So, my wife thinking I'm drunk, it's a great idea to pop his titties, right?
Because they're
let's go grab a steak knife and pop the titties. But I don't think she understands that whole what's behind the target idea. Like everybody who shoots a gun understands before you shoot a gun, you need to be aware of what's behind your target. You got to be willing to kill that. Well, she didn't think that. She was, drunk, and the knife went through the balloon and into something else, which happened to be a man's chest. But it is what it is, Everyone survived.
And it didn't go all that deep, and he was fine, and he laughed it off. So, but it was pretty cool though.
That's funny.
So we're gonna put the knives away this time. But
yeah,
it's
either that or I bring Corey in a straitjacket.
A straitjacket. She's got you seen that?
Hey, nice background scoops. I like it.
Seen oh shit, what's that Steve Martin film called? Is it The Jerk?
Oh,
where he's got the corks on his fork and his knife.
Yeah.
No, that's not The Jerk. That's
Is that The Jerk?
No, The Jerk is the one where he's talking about the sniper guy's trying to shoot the oil cans. He's like, he hates these cans.
But yeah, they're sitting there, and he's got corks on his fork and shit, and they're like, "Why does he have corks on there?" And all of a sudden, he starts sticking himself in the eye.
It's another older Steve Martin one.
So when we give her steak knife to cut her meat with, we're gonna put a cork on the end of it.
Well,
so that
hold
it's
up!
safe.
Don't tell her to cut her meat with a knife. That's my meat, good sir. Please watch your wording. Don't encourage her.
Instead of Stabs, we could have named her Bobbit. I mean,
well, yeah, could have. Or maybe her name will change.
Yeah.
I hope she watches this later when she gets off work and is just embarrassed as fuck. So, but
good job. Real quick though, now that Scooby's on and Baz's last thing he said, I want to go back to that real quick where Baz said, this is the first time that he's had a bunch of friends that he truly will miss when they're not there, Scooby and I, when we first got in the club, we were in the same chapter. And then I was out here where I live by myself. I found Spoons and some other guys, and we started Salt Flats. And I thought that was rad. I'm like, sweet, we have our own chapter out here. And then all of a sudden I'm like, shit, I really miss those guys. Right? You know, like I wanted to be in like both of them, right? You know,
I did the exact same.
Yeah.
I was happy for you guys, you know, branching off and joining your own chapter, you know, and everything. But I was like, damn, I really
Yeah.
like hanging out with those guys every week and having that and everything like that. I'm not saying we don't hang out still, but
But you can, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the moral of the story, and that's the great thing about it is like you can, and it just makes it a little bit easier during the week to do stuff with guys that you know are in your same neighborhood, you know,
Yeah.
a couple minutes away. But on the weekends, you know, that's the beautiful thing about it is really a lot of our chapters are still pretty close to each other, so it's pretty, you know, doable to get everybody together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
remember
ready for some more parties in Scooby's backyard because he's got a great backyard for entertaining.
Christina's writing agendas right now. She was talking about them the other night, so
Sweet.
we're all for it. You guys saw, you saw my addition to the garage last night. So we got the prison door we got to hang up somewhere.
I feel like Christina's name has got to have something to do with that fire pit in the backyard that can burn a body in it.
Oh yeah,
You know,
cremated.
cops can be best friends. So
Yeah,
Corey kills them and Christina gets rid of the bodies. You know?
yeah. Now she's got to watch this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Baz goes on and says she would so do that. Shots wear a cup. So I think that's talking about stabs in my junk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But back to Judas's point, you know, when Spoon started riding and Judas too, you know, I mean, and they were showing up to the Thursday ride, then we were like, hey, you know, let's start a Monday ride out in Tooele. And, you know, I'd come out there, I'd leave here from work and be out there and meet up with those guys. And, you know, yeah, it was awesome. And, you know, to see just, you know, I mean, hell, I think the first 3 or 4 rides we had out there, it was probably just 3 or 4 of us, you know, out cruising around. And so, yeah, I miss the hell out of it. I'm so pissed off at all this snow and everything right now.
I think to go back to our first thing about, you know, people that have bikes that just don't ride, right? Is there is some people that just have bikes that just won't ride, you know,
Oh, yeah.
especially won't ride in groups. But there are other people that have bikes that enjoy riding. They enjoy the social aspect of it. They just need an excuse to get out and ride, right? They just need like somebody to plan things for them. They're not great planners. And so what I have seen personally is like with these weekly rides that we've been putting on for the public, right, is we just say, hey, anybody who's, you know, welcome to come out and ride is it's done wonders to get, you know, people on their bikes. It's scheduled. It's the same time every week. People just kind of make that part of their routine. And so I think that's an awesome thing. And if people are watching this that, you know, aren't in our area or in a different area and you're, you know, trying to think of ideas what to do in your area, just plan a weekly ride and be consistent with it. And, you know, from our experience, you're going to get people out on those rides, you know, consistently. Your area might be a little slower going, but once it gets momentum, it has plenty of momentum. We have rides weekly that have 70 plus, you know, bikes on them.
Well, when I was riding down in Louisiana, I didn't know many people down in Louisiana other than, you know, the other people in my squadron at the base and everything down there. And I was about the only one that rode. And so I literally was, you know, I don't want to use the term, but I was the lone wolf down there. But, you know, I rode by myself. And after a while, it got boring. And, you know, now that I'm up here and when I got my bike up here again, I kind of started out the same way. And then Strike and Boots turned me on to what at that time was the Wednesday night ride. And, you know, I just kind of started there and started meeting people, and it's been awesome. I love it. Everybody I've met, you know, even if I still don't talk to them and I see them only in passing at, you know, charity events or something like that, I still know who they are. They still know who I am, and we're still cool. And it's great to see them all out there. So it's done a lot for me, and even like Christina, it's done a lot for her, bringing her out of her kind of little nutshell and COVID hibernation, as I put it, that she was in for a while. It's brought her out, and you know, she's not back to where she was, but she used to be the life of the party, and she's getting back around to it. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys for everything you've done on that end and brought it around.
Yeah, and to that, Baz brings up, a comment about, I think he's just touching on what you're talking about, Scooby, is the motorcycling community and the good that it can do for people in their lives, right? And Baz says, first thing I do when I find out someone rides is get them on our Facebook and personally invite them to ride, to the ride that is closest to them. I do that too, Baz, right? Like I have a lot of friends that ride and they're kind of fit in this category. And if you're watching it, I'm sorry, we've been talking shit on you, but I have good friends that ride, and maybe I invite them out to 20 events in the year and they come out to 1 or 2 and they enjoy it. In my experience, that's still a win because it's giving them another good experience underneath their belt. And maybe next time it'll give them a little bit more motivation to get out, and hopefully that'll, they can get going. So that's a regular thing and it becomes a habit for them to get out and ride, in the group setting, and they become more comfortable with it.
Yeah, definitely.
I do the same thing. The number of people that actually take me up on it is pretty small, So,
but it's like sales. You visit 50 customers, you might get 1 or 2 repeat buys, and you just gotta keep throwing it out there.
Yeah, we have I think our big ride is our Thursday night ride we do, and that's the one where you get 50, 60 plus bikes out there. Twilla ride we do on Mondays, we only have a handful of guys on spoons.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about that though is you have the chance to get pretty tight, not just with the guys in the club, but the rest of the guys that come on the rides also. We have guys that come to the rides week after week after week that they don't have any interest in being in the club, and that's fine. But we've gotten really close with them also, So there's a cool thing about a big, huge group, but then it's also cool when it's just like sort of small though too, right? So.
Yeah.
And I think that's, honestly, one of the biggest goals of, this YouTube page moving forward is to bring together community, right? And talk about the 99% community. Is we've referenced a lot about, the club that we're a part of and that community and how, tight knit it is and how much we enjoy it. We as a club, we try to build a community bigger than just our club. We try to invite, the public to come out and do rides and try to build the motorcycling community that way. And I think another aspect of this, YouTube channel is to get other 99% either independent riders or people that are in other 99% motorcycle clubs or motorcycle associations or riding clubs to tune onto this too and just realize that the community is just bigger than, what we see right in front of our face, and to start trying to build ties. One of the things I really like is those connections that you meet with people, right? And I would love to go next time we're on a club trip to ride into another state and hang out with another club that's like-minded, who knows their roads like the back of their hand, and they can show us the best time of their life, right? And so part of that is going to be the mission of this YouTube channel, is getting on, talking about this, having a friendly community where people can get on and ask questions, but also interviewing other clubs. So tomorrow we're going to be interviewing the vice president of Iron Legacy MC, who's a huge international, 99% club. And, it's not our club, but it doesn't matter. Like they're like-minded. They have, good missions, good goals, and they have people everywhere. And if we can build relationships with people and get out and ride with as many people as possible, that's what we're about. Is like, we're not about, the hostility. We're not about, trying to say, oh, we only care about our club. In my opinion, that's kind of a closed-minded, mindset. And we're all about trying to build that community however we can,
Yeah, I just don't understand that, right? I know that like certain clubs have beef and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we all have the same passion.
Mm-hmm.
And even, sport bike clubs and other stuff like that, right? Like, I don't know. I'm the guy in the club that rides Hondas, right? The wind that I feel, the speed that I feel is the same as the speed that the rest of the guys feel, right? The bikes still look cool. They're still loud, and they still go down the road. They just don't break down as much as your bikes do. Sorry, just a little jab. No,
You just have parts that fall off while riding.
hey, that happened twice.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of metrics bikes, have shit happen, and I've been searching for them on the side of the freeway. I'm just saying.
No, Spoons is giving me shit because my side cover fell off the last time. But no, but point is though, like I don't really care what you ride. I don't really care what sort of bike or brand or whatever, right? Like bikes are bikes. Like they're all fun, So in all the clubs and all the different clubs, I don't understand the beefs and the hostility and all that stuff between 1% and 99. I know they think that, they have their reasons, but I just don't understand it. We have our own, we all have the same passion. We all ride bikes. We all like to have fun, To me, like in my mind, we're all for the most part the same, right? So
Well, that's like Sunday. I was out for a ride with my daughter, and we were coming back, and we were over here on the west side of 215, cruising back and cruising along 85, miles an hour or so, and I heard some sport bikes coming up behind me, and saw them in my mirror, and I goosed it and got it up to about 90, 95, and
they're like,
they came up. Yeah, well, no, they came up and they got right next to me, and we hit about 105 for a good little stretch right there, and by the time I got off on my exit was the only reason I slowed down. But they're all kind of looking over, going, big ass baggers, doing 105 right with us and keeping up right, weaving around, and they were throwing the deuce and everything and just having a good old time. It was cool.
yeah.
They didn't care that I was on a bagger. I didn't care that they were on a crotch rocket. I don't care.
Yeah, it might not be your preference for the type of bike to ride, but that doesn't mean that there needs to be a separation and there needs to be hostility towards each other, right? It's like I'm cool with claiming that I'm a 99%er because I'm about that life, right?
No.
I have zero issues against 1%ers, respect, right? I choose to ride a cruiser, I choose to ride a Harley, but anybody who chooses to ride something else, respect. You're on two wheels. You're still enjoying that same wind therapy that I'm enjoying,
We've matured a little bit more. We have more maturity than the guys on the Hondas and things like that. But eventually they'll mature and maybe get a Harley.
And our public events are open to everybody. It doesn't have to be just the club or a riding club that we're associated with. You could be a sport bike rider. You can be an independent. You could be a 1%er and just show up and want to ride, with us, and you're welcome to. The only thing we ask is like, hey, we just don't want any issues, on our ride. So if you're gonna come, just be chill. You can keep the drama for another day. So
yeah, I'm into cars also, right? Cars, trucks, and stuff like that. And even with cars, like they have those beefs, right? The import guys don't like the muscle car guys, and the car guys don't like the truck guys, and the truck guys.
Fast and the Furious is obviously the best way to go. You got to get
right. I like them all, right? Like I love the trucks, I love the imports, I love the muscle cars, all that stuff. Well, one of the first dudes I met that I rode with a lot when I first bought my bike, he rode a cafe racer. That thing was dope, right? And a bike's a bike, man. Like they're all cool. In fact, if I had all the money, I'd have a huge garage full of all of them, right? And I would ride them all, right? But I don't. So I got the bikes I have, right? But they're fun and they're a blast and they look cool and they sound cool and biking's awesome, right? So
yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, before we kind of close out the show, we can chat a little bit more offline, but I got a question for you guys. What are some of your like one or two top rides that you guys want to try to accomplish this year? You guys have on your mind?
Well, I'll go first. Like I said, so Spoons and I and our club or our chapter out here, we've been discussing doing an iron butt. And I'm not sure if we're going to go to Reno, Vegas, something like that, out and back. But we are going to do it this year. That's the plan. I want to get that done. And I know we've had different plans for our club trip this year, and it keeps changing, I think. But I'm stoked for that. I'm not really sure where that's going to end up, but I just can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
As long as I'm with you guys,
Yeah, that one's going to be fun. It's going to be, going out to Durango area, and the riding out there is spectacular. So,
Beautiful.
Yeah. Is that the plan? Is that decided now?
yep.
Yeah. Durango
Okay.
and Mancos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take
Cool.
over an awesome small town out in Mancos, and Baz says $1 Million Highway and Canyon of Fire is what he would want to do. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a personal goal of doing 2 iron butts this year. That's, my personal goal.
I heard a rumor about people wanting to do an iron butt up Lolo Highway and back
I was just
down.
getting ready to say it. That's
So that would
my
be an
goal.
awesome iron butt.
I want to do that, and then I want to go up to Coeur d'Alene, right on the Washington Idaho border up there. Beautiful, beautiful area up there.
Lolo Highway is 99 miles of just straight turns, with super scenic, with a river running on the side of it. And so if you include that in your iron butt, I'm not sure how many miles it takes to get there, but it's quite a few. But if you include that in your iron butt, that's at least 200 miles, of just gorgeous riding.
Yep.
And it's not enforced. The speed limit's not enforced by law enforcement, is what we were told by the locals. So it's a good time.
Yeah.
I think the speed limit's 50. And I think we were averaging about 75, 80 down there for the main group. So it's a good time.
Nice.
Beautiful area. What about you, Spoons?
Pretty much the same as Judas. There is, I want to knock out an iron butt. It's something that I've been wanting to do for years now, and just never done it. So that, and then I'm just looking forward to our club trip, because that was a blast last year. I had a lot of fun on that one.
Yeah, it was cool.
I agree, and I like. I want to. The destination I need to figure out, but I'd like to have at least a couple camping trips that we just do for a night or two, and just go hit up somewhere cool and just camp and hang out with brothers and chill. And
Yeah, even we go up to someplace like Mirror Lake that's close by or whatever, just camp up there.
Yeah, I enjoy memories like that where you can just take off on it for a night or two and just hang out with the brothers and do some cool riding and drinking. So.
I gotta jump off and take this, guys.
Yep, that's cool.
See you, Scoobs.
Hey, guys.
Do either of you guys have any final comments? We can chat a little bit in the lobby afterwards, but
That was fun. It was fun. I just can't wait for all this white shit to stop falling from the sky and go away and get to go out and ride. I mean, it's been fun to be out here and there lately. We've had some nicer days here and there, but we still have to bundle up. And I can't wait till we just don't have to bundle up quite so much, but you do what you have to do, and you just take the good with the bad. So what we got there?
Baz says Canyon of Fire is close and is a good candidate for a camping trip. So Baz, yes, let's look at that and put something on the calendar.
You know what we have to do, Shots? Dragon said that he would come ride with us if we go do that Black Dragon.
Yeah, we should invite him out and plan something.
We need to hold him to it.
See if he could pull some Black Sabbath guys out here with him and do some riding. So,
Yeah,
That'd be super cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
all right. Well, we appreciate everybody getting on and just joining us while we bullshit and talk about motorcycles and things that we love to do. We all truly love to ride our bikes, and it's a passion of ours. And we appreciate you guys joining us and talking. If you guys have any, questions or comments, go ahead and hit that. Write those comments. We'll get back to you on that. If you guys have any good topics and things you'd like us to talk about next time we're drinking and bullshitting, go ahead and put that in the comments too, and we'll go ahead and chat about that next time we're on. Other than that, hit that like and subscribe button, and please make sure that you join us tomorrow, which is going to be Thursday the 23rd at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to be doing that interview with Playboy, who's the International Vice President of Iron Legacy, and it should be an awesome episode. So until then, We will see you tomorrow.